Boss in the Sauce Show.
Boss in the Sauce Show.
Boss in the Sauce Show.
Boss in the Sauce Show. Here we go.
Yes, sir. It is the Boss and the Sauce Show. How are we doing today, guys?
Oh, we're good over here, man. We just cashed Clemson first half. We got them in our contest full game, so let's just bring it on home, guys. How you doing today, Raghu?
I'm doing good, man. I just took the girls out for dinner. I got a birthday on the left and a birthday on the right. My daughter and my wife split days, so they got me in the middle. So we had a nice dinner. I rushed home to get with my two favorite college football handicappers in the world right here, Big Boss and, of course, Wine Time Sports. I'm doing good, guys. Thanks for asking. Hopefully everything's good by you guys.
We got to get some of that cash back in your pocket after that.
Yeah, I got to pay for dinner, man. So let's go.
The best way to do it, you know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, man, we here week 12. We was just talking backstage that, you know, it's kind of going by fast this year. I mean, we got like 2 more good weeks. After that, it's gonna be kind of really slow. And then you got the 1 week when it's just a military game. Then you're gonna get a few bowl games as they go, but it's gonna be rationed out. We talked about we playing X amount of games this weekend, and all that's gonna go down to maybe 2 handfuls for a while, which is great though. It gives you more time to kind of dial up some stuff and be a little more careful and all that good stuff. So, week 12, man. My overall record, I've been keeping note on the ones that I put up with my little picture on it with the picks. I'm minus 2 units for the season, so not too bad, but definitely could be doing better. But let's see if we can break win. Let's see if we can break win this week. I'm trying to fart on the stage, but let's jump right into some biscuits and gravy, man. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's eat. Now these are already lined up, kind of on whose games is what. Maybe besides the Iowa game, I think we all got a little something to say about the Iowa game. But let's run it down the line. So, Wine, you up first. Clemson tonight. How did we get there?
Yeah, we got to Clemson. This line just been continue to move down to Clemson. I think it closed out at 1.5. We gave out the 3 today on the show. Gave out the money line at plus 110. Gave out the first half at plus the half. 3 plays. Loaded up on this game. I just think Clemson, from a talent perspective, going into this year was they were supposed to have a really good year, and they haven't. And I just figured today on a Friday night, they get a chance after Louisville lost their chances at a college football playoff last week against Cal in overtime. I just thought that Clemson is the better team, and so I just ended up taking them. And it's a close game so far. It's 10-9 at half, so we've got a long game ahead. Hopefully, Clemson can come out on top.
Nice. And your next pick right there.
There we go. That's Oklahoma for me. We're on Oklahoma, guys, which is crazy. We're going against a team that beat Bama last year in Norman, and now they're going into Alabama this weekend. Oklahoma defensive front is impressive. I've been talking about it the last couple of weeks. It was really impressive last week. Really pressured Joey Aguilar a couple of weeks ago against Tennessee. Really made him look like not a pretty good quarterback. And I just like everything I'm seeing from Brent Venables' defense. We know he makes in-game adjustments probably better than anyone in the nation at the defensive side of the football. He's going to be calling that defense. I think that defense is going to become ready to play. They win. I don't know if they win this game. I think Bama probably squeaks it out at home, but I think 6 points is too much. Give me Oklahoma.
Nice. Next up, all the way from good old Florida, we got to play on South Florida with my guy, Big Ragu. How we get there, Big Ragu?
Very carefully, man. Tiptoe through the tulips. This is a game of how would you say it? So in that conference, we were looking at Memphis last week with a big game on deck for Tulane. Well, Tulane went down. And then guess what happened to Memphis the following week? They go down. And now here we are looking at probably the group of 6 team that's, at the top of the class. There's some arguments there, but all these teams in conference play, they're very stacked up. You got North Texas in there also. So there's a lot of teams in that conference that, are vying for it. And the good thing about South Florida, they beat North Texas already, if I'm not mistaken, right? And that division. So this is a game where now they kind of slid out of the spotlight. Now they're back in it, and I think they're going to take the bull by the horns and really run this game strong here. The thing about Navy is usually when you play Navy, you don't get as many possessions per game. Where South Florida likes to run tempo. They're double digits on the road, which I'm not too thrilled about it, but I think they handily put points up. I think they'll run efficiently against Navy. They'll put points up. Gross, um, he'll be one of the top candidates for a bigger job. And also, Brown's healthy now, so I like their opportunities they're going to have against Navy. Navy's schedule, if you look back, they haven't really played anybody, even though their record's impressive, sitting at 7-2, but they're 1-7 ATS. Where South Florida, they're in the black. I think they're like 5-3, but this is a good spot for them. I think they make up some ground here and have an opportunity to stay at the top of that list of Group 6.
Nice. Now, ECU plays Texas State, right?
Who's that now?
ECU. No, they play Memphis.
ECU Memphis. Okay, ECU Memphis.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I know the quarterback over there really hasn't been healthy at Memphis for a long time.
Memphis is out. He's out. He's not playing.
Yeah, well, here we go again. We're going right back to the same conference with Memphis. We just got through talking about Memphis. Yeah, they've got some issues there. There's a lot of talk about Silverfield leaving, the program, going to Arkansas. And, with them losing that game last week, they're right for the pickings here, guys, with East Carolina. East Carolina's another team. They run 80-something plays a game. They'll get that tempo in this game against Memphis. They're playing at home back in South Carolina. So they get an opportunity here. It's a tight game. Actually, I cap it as a 2-point game. So I know they're laying 3 here. I'm probably going to money line and be honest with you. Probably be a safer bet here, but I still like their opportunity. And I do like the over here. So they run tempo. Memphis, is down a little bit here, even though their record indicates that, they do have a game. I think that there's some tiebreakers in effect for ECU. So, they're I'm not saying they're on the outside looking in, but this is a good opportunity, for a better bowl possibly, down the stretch here. And then if things go a little south of the border for a couple of teams with a little bit of luck, they can still have an outside shot. But they're the better football team in my book right now, quietly doing what they do. They were always known for their big offensive line, 350 plus, but they play defense a little bit too. So I like that. So ECU and a short number at home, I like that.
Oh man, I almost jumped over Iowa, but we could do Iowa last. I hop on here for a little while with this Northwestern Michigan game. I mean, Michigan, I don't really see Michigan as they are like the lowest ranked team in the Big Ten, but I don't know. I think they got a little fraud in them. I see them more, a little downgraded from some of the top teams right here, which gives Northwestern a big chance. And this is going to be played at Wrigley Field. So Wrigley Field is the dimensions is a little different when you play on those type of fields and stuff like that. Now it is playing in the favor of Michigan to play in Chicago at Wrigley Field, but I mean Northwestern's right there as well. So I consider both of them have fans at the game. But the thing about this game is the Wrigley Field is going to shorten the field from the way it is, and Northwestern has a great secondary, and the quarterback over there at Michigan be inconsistent at times. So we all know for years you always take Northwestern as big dog. So Northwestern plus we got a lot of value because that came down a lot, and in the contest we still were able to get 12.5. So I don't even think you can get a 12.5 out there no more. So give us the 12.5 in the contest with Northwestern. This is the week where Big Ten goes crash. USC got to play Iowa. They both in the racings of trying to be, that extra team from the Big Ten. Ohio State and Indiana basically got it on lock at the top. So this week is the week where everybody comes step on everybody's toes, like they always do in the Big Ten, and it goes the other way. So I like that spot right there. Then moving on to the South Carolina Gamecocks right here playing this Texas A&M team. Now everybody know this Texas A&M team is the real deal, but man, they got to slip up somewhere. And this is definitely a spot. We talked about SEC home dogs a whole bunch of times now. Last year, the quarterback Sellers, he had his best game against these guys and they beat him. So there's a little revenge factor in there too, which could be dangerous with the Gamecocks right here. But once again, that number's down to like 17, 18 in some places. We get 19 and a half with a South Carolina team and the SEC where it's anybody's game any week right here. And I couldn't see it no other way to take a side. So I had to take South Carolina in this one. That's where I'm at with that one. Now, let's jump back over to the Iowa game with USC. Now, I got some great news for you guys out there in not in California land. But so we were proposing a big storm that was supposed to come on Thursday, but it actually just got here today. So the heart of it is supposed to be landing kind of tomorrow. So this game is going to be wet and nasty tomorrow. And it's good. You got a physical team right here versus a speed team right here on a wet surface. I don't know what could go home on in this game, but we've been winning with Iowa since the beginning of the season. And that physical defense, you know, it's just like the Wyomings of the world. It's like the Utahs. Like they just play defense at a different level, and you have to bring your A game against that. It doesn't all them little fluke ups that USC. It's no room for that versus a team like Iowa. They're very disciplined, and they're gonna slow the game down, and slow the pace down, and so hope USC can hold on. But how did you get there on this Iowa game, Weinstein? Are you still just rolling with the ATS thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's just they've been cash money, and I just think if you look at it from a matchup perspective, I mean, USC is a really talented team, guys. I do think they probably end up winning this game. It probably similar to how Indiana and Oregon beat Iowa. You just have the better athletes out there on the field for 4 quarters. I don't think they have the better coach, but I just think that they've got the money to kind of bring in the right guys to fit their team. I was going to go out there and give everything they have every single game, and we've seen that. I mean, this close, guys. I mean, 2-point conversion away last week from giving them a 3-point lead, and that kick would have ultimately from Oregon that was 39 in the rain, in the wind, could have gone into overtime. Here we go, Iowa, though, in somewhat of a letdown spot. But to me, this isn't a letdown program that just gives up because their college football playoff hopes are over. We've got a lot of guys that want to make it to the NFL, have some good game tape, and come into Southern California and beat these guys. So I think Iowa, absolutely. Plus, I'm on them +7. Been on it. This is the first play I made this week. Been on them every single week. Futures thrown away for the Big Ten title at plus 10,000, but it is what it is. Give me Iowa +7.
Now you endorsed this one too, right? Big Ragu, Iowa.
Yeah, I've been a big Iowa fan the past few years. I'm not saying I'm going to bet them every week, but you know, it presents itself again. You know, we get another opportunity with Iowa in the dog roll where you know they've been money each and every time. You know, they cash against Iowa State as a short dog. Indiana they cashed against last week against Oregon. You know, they lost by 2. That game could have went either way. The only thing I did lose with Iowa last week is on the team total. I figured they would kind of bump that 41.5 to the over just a little bit, but it's going to present itself this week, even though we might have some weather, which will probably play into Iowa's hands. I think if it rains a little bit, you know, that'll definitely help them out. I think a little bit more of an advantage to their style of play. But, you know, here we go again with Iowa. You know, I think there's going to be points in this game, guys. I really do. And I take the Iowa on the side, and I'm going to go back to like a slide over here in this particular spot. So I like Iowa, and I like the over.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I was thinking with a physical team like this, like that, the weather factor may lead to like you know, scooping scores and stuff like that, not necessarily slowing it down for under game. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot, man.
Yeah,
But
I think he'll get some opportunities to move the ball down the field too. I don't think we're going to just see a smash mouth type game here. We're going to see a lot of different looks from both sides of the ball on both USC is going to try to throw some wrinkles at them, obviously, but I think that's when Ferentz is going to kind of, I say, open the game up, and they'll take some shots down the field to get some chunk plays, and I think it bodes well for them in this spot.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw USC in a little money line par, just for my USC fans who hate Notre Dame, my local friends who always call me early in the morning saying F Notre Dame and blah 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 blah, and we still keep winning. But I'm gonna take a little money line spot. So just in case I lose, I'm talking smack for the rest of the year on those guys because they just will me in a conversation talking about how they were gonna get in the playoffs this year out of the Big Ten. I'm like, it's not gonna happen, guys. But for media purposes, they do have a shot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
According to the media, they got some kind of shot, but I'm not believing that one.
But total, it has dropped a little bit. I think it's sitting like 54.5, where it was like 56 and a half. I'm going to go back to an Iowa team total. I think it's sitting at 20 and a half, which is really close to what I capped them right at about 21. So, but they didn't get to that number last week, so I'm going to ride that over 20 and a half.
3 touchdowns against that defense with no run protection right there. Yeah, they got 3 touchdowns. You got that. No problem. Iowa over 20 and a half for sure. Let's keep it rolling, man. Now let's go to our guy, man, who actually wins a lot around here, and that's our guy, man, AC33, and he has a little pick for us. Now he did go head to head with Big Ragu with the Maryland pick last week, and he lost messing with Big Ragu, but he's 8-5 on the show, so let's keep it rolling for my man. Hey,
oh, come on!
Okay.
there it is, right there. Now let's jump into some more meat and potatoes. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. I really haven't been able to bet Notre Dame. It's like a fan thing going on with me. I'm probably like the biggest fan of Notre Dame, like all sports. But anyways, this is a game that my gut told me trust Freeman. He would get you the cover in this game because I doubt him every time in any way, shape, or form, and he proves me wrong all the time. So I'm gonna leave the game alone to tell you the truth. But I do like Notre Dame gut feeling to cover the spread in this one too. But Pittsburgh has a good run defense. Even if they shut the run down, we got a good receiver room over there at Notre Dame. We just never had to use it like that because Love and them is running up and down the field. So even if they shut it down, we do have the ability to put the ball in the air and score. And it's going to be vice versa. The pass is going to open up the run. So we're going to back them up off of a little bit by making a couple good catches down the field. And then we'll be able to run the ball all over again. And as for their offense, playing against that Notre Dame defense is rough, man. Those guys, they take everything personal. You know what I'm saying? They don't be want nobody to score. They those guys are mean. But yeah, that's where I'm at with that one. But I think this is Big Ragu spot for this Notre Dame game. You got a pick on this one, Big Ragu?
On the Notre Dame game? Yeah. Well, we've all seen what the Pittsburgh coach has been saying about how he didn't need to win the game. Is he kind of being coy, kind of like when Lane was talking about his daughter dating the middle linebacker? He was going to run up the score, and he goes out and shits 13 points in that game. You know what I mean? So you can never know with these coaches, but I know they've got their targets on Georgia Tech next week. That's going to be a big spot. And I'm not going to say this game is meaningless, but it's not a conference game, and it's not going to play into the conference finals, for them to get there. But then again, it's still an important game for them to go out and compete and I think win, to be honest with you. But I'm not going to look into that too much on what he said, but just the way the game shapes up for Notre Dame's sake. I mean, this is a big must-win game for them. They're that, I'm going to call them a bubble team, but they're, being an independent, they have to go out and impress week in, week out. And a lot of people want to see him in. There's some people who don't want him in because they think they're fugazi in a lot of ways. But to me, they've got the best backfield in the nation. The quarterback play is stupendous. I like what their offense is doing, and this is a really good year for them to be balling and scoring points. And I'm really liking what they're doing on the offensive side. And Pittsburgh playing at home, they're catching a big number here. So, I think the number is a little bit rich, but something just tells me that Notre Dame is going to have a game Saturday. So I'm gonna get in and out with Notre Dame. I think I'm just going to try to. Hopefully they get a lead in the first half, but I know usually when games have these bigger numbers, they tend to get away late. So I'm gonna split my play here. I'm gonna get involved in the first half and full game with Notre Dame. So I'll lay the wood here with Notre Dame to have a big game offensively speaking versus Pittsburgh.
I wish you the best. Why you're not touching that with a 10-foot pole?
No, nothing for me in this game. It is must win for Notre Dame. Though. I mean, this was the game that we weeks ago I circled for Notre Dame. This is who they kind of have to impress. I mean, Pittsburgh. I mean, one of their losses was to West Virginia in like the first couple games of the season in Morgantown in a hostile environment. Pittsburgh is playing some really good football right now. It's actually kind of crazy, but this is a good spot for Notre Dame to show everyone because a lot of people are saying, why is Notre Dame in the college football playoff? Including myself somewhat. And I think that this is a perfect spot. If they beat these guys by 15 plus points, Notre Dame has a clear path to the playoff. And I think they could prove it in this spot. If Pittsburgh wins this game and they win out, they're going to the college football playoff, which would be kind of crazy to think about. I never going to the season had that in the back of my mind, but they're only 2 losses. It's kind of crazy here. But I do think Notre Dame should blow these guys out. They're too talented of a team not to. So, yeah, I'm off this game, though.
Yeah, just for the coach, for Narduzzi making excuses before the game even starts. I mean, that's kind of, he's already given himself an out to give him an excuse to kind of, point himself towards the ACC. But if you're playing for all the marbles, I know you got to play one game at a time, and I get that part of it, and whatever psyche he's trying to, use for locker room and media purposes or whatever that is. But come on, guy. You got to always put your best foot forward. I don't give a shit what you're doing. Set the example, lead by example, and rally the troops. But just for that, that's not the reason why I'm going to back Notre Dame. I think offensively they're just a superior team. Bigger number. I'm going to start looking into these bigger numbers late in the season too. I look for them to start covering. So don't be scared of the big numbers.
Yeah, I mean, as for all the news, it's rumored that Freeman might be a candidate for the New York Giants job as well. So
who?
Freeman from Notre Dame.
Oh, that's crazy. Damn.
Yeah, but this just could be hearsay. That Notre Dame job is a good job,
Yeah, well, I don't know why he would leave that for the New York Giants job. No, I that's not
going into a headache right there.
Oh,
but this next one up here is Arizona and Cincinnati. Now this one has just a crazy setup right here. You got Cincinnati coming off a bye. You got Arizona coming off a win that they slugged out. Got a little lucky at the end. Now both teams do have their bells and whistles. I can't lie. Both of them have some good points. This is basically a 50-50 game, right? But at the same time, I see more of an advantage of Cincinnati coming off the loss. Scoresby and them had a good bounce back record for the season. And an interesting fact on this one is this is the biggest dog Arizona has been all year at 6 points. So in this one, I'm kind of tiptoeing around it, but at the same time, Cincinnati starts fast, and Arizona even last week took a little while to get everything going. So I'm taking Cincinnati first half -3.
Yeah, I like that. I like Cincinnati here. I'm not. See, to me, a lot of college teams, when I give them a dead cat bounce, where people just expect these teams to just snap back out. It's a little different in college, when teams, they can say, oh, they're mad at what happened last week. Sometimes it doesn't work out for them. In most cases, it doesn't. In this case, with the week to stew about it and playing back at home where Cincinnati is a lot better football team than they are, and arguably Sorby the best quarterback in conference, and they got the Corleone on defense. I think they're equipped to handle business back home here. But I'm like you. I figured, time wise, Arizona is going to be starting this game at noon. So they'll be still, and they'll still be in breakfast mode when they get ready to take the field here to take on Cincinnati. So, with that travel spot there and Cincinnati having the extra week to prepare, and I think I just want to get in and out with Cincinnati in the first half here, come out with a fast start. And if they give up a back door or something late, I know it's 6. See, that's the other thing. So it's a 1-score game too. So, I think it's going to be tight. It's not going to be an easy win, but I think Cincinnati handles business, and I think the first half number is the way to go here.
Yeah, that's why I went with it too. And it was the first half number. It did come up at 3.5, but
Yeah.
I bought it down to 3 for like -122 or something. So, I mean, no big deal right there. But let's keep it moving. Next up is this Colorado State and New Mexico game. Now, the only advantage Colorado State has had in this whole thing is that they kind of own them in the tradition of the matchup. But this might be a year where New Mexico could take advantage. And like I always say, the sun can shine on a dog's ass this day. And the line proves it at 14.5. It's been toddling, right? It went down to like 14 a little bit, but you still might be able to get some -14.5 right there. And Colorado State is probably one of the few teams who the interim coach and all the stuff that happened ain't did nothing for them. They got to be dead out tired, gave up, turned their stuff in, and all that at this point, and they got to go into New Mexico, which is a team that's thriving off the offense, and they can run the ball really well. Colorado State's giving up like 190 something on the ground, and you're going against a pure run team who runs really well on the ground with New Mexico. And I took this one first half as well. I don't want to wait around for the end. Colorado's coming over to New Mexico, so therefore I'm gonna take New Mexico first half -8. I know nobody else is dealing with that. That's Mountain West business. Mountain West business, where I do it the best. Now, this right here is a Big Ragu special. He's going to tell y'all why.
Oh, Southern Miss. Oh, yeah, Southern Miss. Let me tell you something. They're playing some football in the state of Mississippi these days. Mississippi State's been a cover machine. Southern Miss, a team that fired Will Healy, had one win last year, and enter his name just went right out of my mind too. Charlie Huff. He was a disciple of Saban, but he took he take them all. He come from Marshall, same conference, and now he's pretty much flipped the switch on his team down in Southern Miss. He's got 20 players he's brought with him, so he basically brought a fair amount, kind of like what the guy did in New Mexico when he had all the FCS guys go with him down there. And they're winning football games, guys. They're coached well. They play a good style of football, and I like what this team has been doing in conference. They've been handling business. So, yeah, it's a short number. They're playing at home, a 3-point number. Texas State, they've had their issues this season. A little bit of a disappointing season for the Bobcats. So it's just a momentum play. What Southern Miss has been doing all season long. 6-3. Like I said, they're putting together a nice little season. They're already bowl eligible, and they're handling business. So, to me, that's a good little spot here with the Southern Miss team. I really like what they're doing and what's going on down there. So, I'm going to ride that train.
Let's ride that train over there in the Sun Belt, the Fun Belt. Now, for what y'all been waiting for, my man Winetime to say something.
Yeah.
There you go, Winetime. Utah Banner. Let them have them. Give them the goods.
Yeah, guys, I'm on Baylor here, plus the 8, plus 8.5, whatever number you guys can get available here. I think that they're going to stay within one possession of this game the whole game. Going into this year, I was high on Baylor. I looked at their team. I thought they had a really loaded roster and a lot of guys that were coming back that have been in the system for a couple of years. And they've been in a lot of close games, a lot of close losses as well. 14-point blown lead with 4 minutes to go against SMU. Just some heartbreakers along the way. And I think that this is a perfect spot. I don't know if they win this game. I think Utah probably finds a way to win, but Baylor plus 8. This is good money here, guys. I like Sawyer Robertson. I think a lot of these guys are going to step up for David Aranda the last couple games this season. And I'm also on the over. I think this is going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be probably first to 40 wins here in this matchup, which is why we're seeing a total of 60 here with both these offenses. Teams can score. Baylor hasn't been able to stop anyone. Utah hasn't been able to stop certain opponents at times this season as well. Give me Baylor. I love Baylor in this spot today, guys.
Ooh, and Big Ragu, you got something to do with this too, right?
Yeah, when we had the little chat, during the week, a couple of days back, we were giving our plays, what teams we like. And Baylor was one that was on my radar also. So I like Baylor, for the contest, for our contest plays. I don't think we got in there with Baylor, but Juan and I both kind of like the side here. I think plus eight plus is a solid look. You're getting better in 2 scores, and what Wine says, points are to be had here in this particular spot. And if you look at what Baylor's done all season, they've had more than a couple hard luck losses. Games that they should have won. They could easily have 3 more W's in the win column here. The way their season's gone, so it's just been one of them years for them. They're talented. They can score. Catching them points at home, I like it. Plus north of 7. Put me on Baylor.
I like it too. I like that look right there. Baylor slide by. Baylor has some bad hiccups and stuff on the way. And if Dampier is playing for Utah, that's crazy. I was a big advocate of Dampier earlier in the season, but now not so much. I'm not too much into Dampier. I like the backup. The backup would be better in this game right here. And this is absolutely too many points for Utah to be laying against a team like Baylor, who's going to actually challenge them and give them a chance. And they on the road. I can see if we was in Utah, it would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
8. What do you think? If you take this game to Utah, does the number become 12 or something crazy? I don't think so. I think that number is too high on the road right there. It's just,
this should be no. If they were playing this game in Utah, I would have this. This game should probably be maybe like what it is now. I would say.
Exactly. It would be the same thing if it played in Utah. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
But let's move over to one of the biggest games on the card for the week right here, and that's good old Texas versus Georgia. Now, this one, I don't think I have a play in this game right here, but I did have a thought about it, and that was that we can't discredit Texas defense as much as Arch Manning and the offense sputters up. We can't discredit the Texas defense, and they're playing against a Georgia team who offense seems the only one to cut it on the second half, besides last week where they had a good start. But against a defense like Texas, I don't know exactly what kind of product we get out of that. So I kind of stayed away from that. And then vice versa with Texas and Archie Manning, with a defense like Georgia, with those big guys flying around, with a pass rush like Georgia on giving him some pressure. That could be tough too. So I just kind of stayed off of this game.
Yeah, I like the Georgia side here. I like them in a big way, actually. Normally, we've known what Georgia start the season. What they've done is they kind of picked up where they left off last year, where they were terrible against numbers. Covering numbers full game. We took some first halves and whatnot during the course of the season last year, and kind of like we kind of got off the Alabama thing and started riding Georgia a little bit more last year. But I mean, Georgia has been impressive. If you look at the last 4 games, they were 20 points versus Kentucky. They covered that number. They covered a short number against Auburn, at Auburn, 4.5. They beat Ole Miss at home, by 10 doubles there. They didn't get the job done in the cocktail party, which they could have. They should have. They should have covered that number, but he fell down at the end zone, right? A lot of people got mad.
Mm-hmm.
And the last week against State, which has been dynamite at coverage, Mississippi State has been dynamite at cover numbers. They opened a can of whoop ass on them at State. So now they're back between the hedges. And to me, Texas a little bit better than they are starting the season, but they're already talking the narrative, 3 losses, getting them in the playoff. Listen, tired of hearing about Texas's bullshit with the 2 losses and 3 losses trying to get in. Get them the fuck out. Get Georgia in. Georgia, leave no doubt. Like they say, what's the movie? The football movie with the kids. Damn it, man. When the defensive coaches leave no doubt. That's what Georgia's going to have to do. They're going to have to leave no doubt to get Texas out because they're going to try to shove up our ass again in college football playoff. But don't do it, Georgia. Don't do it.
Don't do it, Georgia. Shout out to my man Jimmy Vegas with the Georgia. Yeah, I could see Georgia winning, but I don't know. That Texas defense scared me all the way off of that game.
Yeah.
Now the last preset game right here, and this is definitely one of my spots. I'm back on the BYU bandwagon. I had fell off for a while, but BYU coming off a loss, going to play at home against a TCU team right here. Now both of them have significant injuries. BYU is without three of their players in the secondary, and TCU is without their star running back. So they got some disparities there, but I think either way it goes, they find a way to score, and that's been like that's been the story of BYU this season. Besides the last game, but they always found way. It was kind of weird last week that they couldn't find a way to score against a really really good Texas Tech team though. At home, college game day, like that was too bananas for that. But this kind of like I hate to say it because it never works when I say it, but it's true. Kind of a buy low spot for me for BYU. This was also, I think, 3.5, but I was able to tease it down to like 122 to 3. So I took the BYU. And I also have the over 51 in this one. I think, like I said, both of them going to figure out ways to score. Regardless of the injuries, regardless of anything, they're going to figure out ways to score. So that's me. BYU -3. I'm pretty sure nobody's on that. Wine time. Do you got any other plays you want to give the people before we head up out of here?
I'm actually on TCU, boss. I'm on TCU +4, though, -120. I gave it. It was a last minute play for me. I gave it out today on the show with Jimmy. I just think that I don't know TCU. I haven't been high on them all season long, but I also haven't been high on BYU. And I don't know. I just think that something's fishy about this line. I feel like someone's going to be out or something from BYU because the fact that they're this short of a favorite at home. It's going to be a hostile environment in Provo, Utah. This place is going to be crazy, and the weather's going to be a little bit colder. TCU might not be familiar with that, and here I am on TCU. It's kind of a market game for me here in a way. The X's and O's, they could also get me there too because BYU's been in a lot of close games, but I do really respect their head coach. I think he's one of the better head coaches out there, and it's kind of sad. I mean, BYU is kind of looking from the outside into the college football playoff after they beat Utah, who's now kind of in on this now at this point. They're in the college football playoff if they win out. So it's all really interesting. I'm on TCU. I don't know if they win this game outright because we know how BYU is able to pull out these games. But if you give me 4 points, I'll take the 4 points.
Nice. Well, yeah, I think BYU going to be back up to their bullshit. And clumsy falling their way into victory. But they have a great home record, and they are great ATS. So
yeah, and the place is going to be going crazy. Field goal is good by Clemson, 50-yarder. There we go, down by 3.
Tight.
You got anything extra, Big Ragu, before we get up out of here?
Yeah, I got one I really like. It just kind of popped up the more I look at it, and then it's kind of a market thing too. You know, we're looking at a red hot Virginia team that's coming into Duke. Duke coming off a loss, I believe, last week, right? Coming back home, and Duke is laying points at home versus a ranked Virginia. So that's a little bit of a telling sign. That's one of my college basketball theories. Like if I get a unranked team or an unranked team playing at home versus a ranked team, and the unranked team is favored, that's usually a pretty good sign for the home court. So this is home cooking here, guys. Duke's very capable of scoring points. Virginia is a quality program. I keep waiting for them to trip up, kind of like you waiting for A&M to trip up, right, boss?
Yeah.
They haven't done it yet. So is this the week? Do I want to step in front of Virginia? I'm not afraid to, but I think either way, I would sprinkle on Duke and take the points because I think that's going to be pretty live play here. Duke as a home dog in this spot. So I like Duke. And then the hat I'm wearing, guys, Bama, I think they're playing the best college football right now. I know there's an argument for an A&M. A&M should probably be ranked 1, whatever, but I think the board lives for these big moments, and he's always shined when the lights are bright for him. And I like Alabama at home laying the big number here, so I'm not scared of that either. So, like I said, big numbers cover late. Give me Duke and Alabama.
Nice. I also got a little something on that Alabama too. I got the over in that Alabama game. I think both teams had the ability to strike and counter strike. So I see them both scoring a little bit of points. I think Mateer's hand is finally healed by now. If he's still been playing with a busted hand, so I think he put some points up. And I think
it's a correlation game. If you like Oklahoma, you got to like the under. If you like Bama, you got kind of like the over.
And it's a Heisman run showcase right here with two quarterbacks. They were talking about that kind of stuff too. So we'll see. I like it. Like I said, I like the over in that one.
Yeah.
But,
hopefully you see a lot of Jan Miller and Simpson on the performance. The only thing, Alabama's run defense could be a little bit leaky at times, and we'll see if Oklahoma is able to move the ball with Mateer and make some plays. Not necessarily all big plays, but we'll see what he's got. I know he's been getting better. That I know. So we'll see. Hopefully it's a good game. That's what we really want. We want to see a quality football game. A top 10 matchup here.
Yes, sir. Well, it's gonna be that time. You gotta head us out of here with some kind words, Wine Time. It's on you. Let me set the mood for you.
All right, guys. Make sure to get your bet slips in. Get your pockets ready to get full with a bunch of cash. And we're going to make some money in college football. Good luck to everyone out there. Everyone have a great rest of your night. A good night's sleep. Get ready for tomorrow. We got college football, baby. Let's go.
Yes. Let's go. We out of here, y'all.
All right, peace.
The Boss and the Sauce Show.
Boss and the Sauce Show.
Boss and the Sauce Show.
Boss and the Sauce Show. Here we go.